All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll.
Ramkassoon. Tobin.
Here.
Kleiner.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
John Francois.
Here.
Burr is absent. Green.
Here.
Massey is absent. President Rodriguez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Approval of minutes.
Tonight we have the meeting of November 2nd, 2020.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green, seconded by Alderman Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence.
Nothing this evening.
For the good of the city, anyone would like to address the council, please step forward.
Good evening again. So nice to see everybody. My name is Susan Depew. I live in 57 Prospect Street. Many of you know me as the litter lady. For 10 years, I was part of the organization, along with many of you here in the room, on cleaning up Middletown. And this year, because of the pandemic, we're not going to have an official cleanup of Middletown, but we're imploring everyone who owns or rents a home to become a better part of Middletown, and that is to clean up what is in front of you, around you, and behind you. Clean up your yard, make your house look beautiful. With a little bit of paint and a little bit of sweeping up, you can improve everything. It's a good thing to do with your family, and this Tuesday, Middletown is part of this whole process on Thursday, 2 days from now. So we're asking all of you, if you don't have 4 hours, 1 hour will work. Clean up the area that you live in. And if you want to go farther, wouldn't that be great? Hope to see you outside. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Anyone else would like to address the council? Okay, remarks of the mayor?
I heard Dr. Johnson say, sit back. There was a
fall
little
asleep.
sarcasm there, I think. My ears still work. My eyes aren't the best, but my ears still work.
Empty.
Yeah. As you all know, today was an important verdict in the trial at Minneapolis, and as President Biden called it, a step forward. Justice was done for the Floyd family, and our prayers go out to the Floyd family, and may his family find some peace, and the fact that that he has changed the world, and especially our country. So I felt it was important to comment it tonight, and hopefully things will be peaceful throughout this evening and through the weekend. But the Floyd family is in all our thoughts and prayers, and I think the president put it eloquently in his comments today. I also like to first address, I know much to the dismay of Dr. Johnson, I'm going to address the parking situation in downtown. He did sit through it last night. We had a meeting at the senior center. I want to thank Dr. Johnson, Alderman Kleiner, and Francois for attending. We had a pretty decent turnout, and the purpose of last night's meeting was to discuss with downtown merchants, tenants, and business owners, and property owners, the proposed downtown parking and sanitation rules. I believe they were forwarded to you, the draft copy. We're hoping that you will move it as quickly as possible through committee. It's been discussed for quite a while. And basically, we went through the 22 lots in our downtown area, and try to accomplish a few things. One, we try to make it more standardized for, rather than having a 15-minute zone, a 20-minute zone, a 1 hour parking, and 2 hour parking in one lot and 4 hour parking over here. Incorrect signage that has developed over the past 30, 40 years. we felt we would try to work in a manner to come up with a proposal that would be more standard. Worked on it with Maria Jacob a little bit and Chief Awanchu. And one thing we did do is to give people an idea of what parking is like in downtown Middletown. We did an inventory of the 22 lots, which will be included in their packages when you get them for committee discussion. And believe it or not, within 2 or 3 minute walk of either the Orange County Trust Square or Franklin Square, we have 1,275 off-street parking spots. 52 of them are handicap parking, and 1,222 are regular parking spots, controlled by time limits. 7 are electrical vehicle parking or proposed. And we felt that inventory was important because as we're moving into this overnight parking and more standardized parking, there's a lot of questions from people and a lot of parochial concerns. So we had the 4-hour parking basically will be in all lots, all the permitted lots, from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., and that is 7 days a week. We are proposing that an overnight parking permit be issued. It'll be issued through John Nemchuk's office. We'll be working with John on the parameters. He's been helpful with some of the overnight permits from other communities, and we're looking at doing parking stickers similar to what motor vehicle does with your registration, so they can't be transferred from vehicle to vehicle. And we've designated a certain amount of spots in each lot. And of course, demand will, where people want to be in those specific lots will obviously be the driver and how many spots we end up with in each lot. We were factoring about 1/3 to 25 to 30% of each lot in overnight. And if demand is increased, we'll do more. But the overnight parking will be valid from 8 p.m. The permits are 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. So technically, an overnight parking permit will allow someone who lives in the downtown area, you have to be a resident in downtown, to park their car at 8:01 or later, and they won't have to move it until 11 o'clock the next morning. So that's, a pretty good span for overnight parking. And the permits are subject to 4-hour parking rules during the day. The idea is to turn those lots over. Some of the lots will have a maximum of 72-hour parking, and those are the lots as you get outside to the perimeter of the downtown. As you move out, the center of the city will be an overnight charge, and the lots as you move out will be free of charge. The permitted overnight lots are up above. You'll see on the screen. The James Street lot on the north side only. The purpose of us doing that is that we need to have a turnover for the motor vehicle side. We've experimented with it over the past several months, and it's working. The fact that the motor vehicle department is so busy and our courts are now reopening, it's very helpful for that lot to be empty first thing in the morning, but it fills up very quickly. And then you'll see the rest of the lots are listed here. Some of the lots will also have extended parking for employee parking. And but let me finish with the overnight lots first. These are the non-permitted overnight lots. So any of these lots here, you can park your car for free if you live in downtown. And that is Canal Street, Henry Street, the new lot right back here, the Erie Way lot, Coach USA, the city parking lot along Railroad Avenue, the South Street lot, which is the lower lot by the Paramount, and also the lot down by the courtroom. So we believe we have plenty of parking, and it's dispensed in a manner that is fair. Because the one thing we did here, and we've heard over the last several weeks and months, is everyone has an expectation that they can park outside their door in a public parking lot for as long as they want. And the business community is not going to survive in downtown that way. And we need to turn these parking lots over, and we think our restrictions are very reasonable. The no overnight parking rules are from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Saturday, and from 4 a.m., no overnight parking from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. So if you're downtown in a lot that has overnight parking, you'll be able to park your car until after 4 o'clock. So that some of the businesses that are open later certainly can have their customers enjoy the parking lots also. So there's no overlapping time. Basically, all the parking lots are either free for overnight parking, or there is a minimal charge. What we're proposing is $10 a month on an annual permit. Or lots that do have restrictions will have a 4-hour time limit, which is plenty of time for people to go to a restaurant, go to a show, do whatever whatever business they have downtown. We do have a few businesses that have expressed that they need longer periods of time for some customers. So we created some 8-hour lots, like the Orchard Street lot. We're looking at the Paramount lot now, the lot next to Equilibrium as being a longer term lot. You might get that one change based on some of the input that we've had. So this is not a final proposal. We're going to modify it once more before we and amend it before we give it to you. But we think when you get it and you see the meeting that we had last night, that I think most people are pretty supportive of what we're trying to do here. One gentleman came who lives downtown and said, I'm a customer to a lot of the businesses here also, and I just want to be treated fairly. And he had a couple points, and we're taking a couple of those points, and we're going to reevaluate on some of those. But he was also willing to pay more money to park overnight. So, that's we're not looking at parking as a commodity, though. We just want to make sure that the center core lots, the East Main Street lot by Something Sweet and the James Street lot, those are our generators and turnovers. The Paramount lot on event nights, we're doing a lot of work on the Paramount area lots. The lower lot also, reactivating that. We're hoping to put cameras up in the lower lot, ripping down the fence. So we're making major investments in and around the downtown area. And also the back here will also be the home of the farmers market and other activities on the weekends when the pavilion is completed. So we're going to be seeing a 7-day-a-week activity in our downtown area. Next topic of discussion is garbage. It wasn't, we did do the garbage can distribution starting on Alderman Massey's birthday, which was April 12th. He was very honored that we did that. And many people are quite surprised that when they woke up in the morning or they came home from work, that they had these big 95-gallon cans, one big green one and one big blue one, on their front lawn or their sidewalk. And we're just encouraging people to be patient. There was literature inside it. We've tried to do a lot of communication on this, and I understand not everybody is into watching city council meetings or social media or Facebook, but we're trying to encourage people to sign up for Nixle 888-777 and type in Middletown, and you'll be getting all these notices. You won't have to do anything other than read the text when it comes to you, and you would know about these things. But the can project is, well, we may call it the Sue Depew project. Sue had us starting to think about litter and a few years back, and she's been very instrumental in having an attitude change, not only in government, but in, I think, in neighborhoods. And people are looking to improve their quality of life and the appearance and the aesthetics of their neighborhood without having cans thrown around or garbage bags strewn on the sidewalk, torn up by animals. So we've been looking at it. We've going to the automated arm, and I'll be getting into that. But as for the cans, some people have complained that these cans are too big. First of all, these cans are used universal. They're used all over the world, all over the country. Any community that has private pickup or municipal pickup with a mechanical arm uses this type of can or the large can. So we're not recreating the wheel here. We're doing what other communities do. And yes, there will be a long-term savings to the city. But we are not laying anyone off. Some people have expressed that concern, or are you going to be firing people or laying people off? No, we're not. We're going to reduce that department through attrition or reassignment to other projects that we may have. But we are not laying anyone off. No one's losing their job because of going from a 3-man truck to a 1-man truck or 1-person truck. But the cans have been distributed in some parts of the city already. We've had calls from some seniors, and we're going to be able to swap the large can for one of the smaller cans if you're not a large producer of garbage. So the 65-gallon cans and the 35-gallon cans are not in yet, but you should call DPW at 343-3169 and let them know you're interested in swapping out the cans, and then these cans will be more manageable for people who don't produce a lot of trash. For those who do produce a lot of trash, in this interim period, you can use your recycling bin for garbage also. So you have 2 cans, the 2 95-gallon cans, which is more than enough for almost all families, but might not be enough in the long run. But for now, you can also continue to use your private, but it's not going to be for long, the cans that you own yourself. But we're trying to get away from them. Once everybody in the city has garbage cans, then we're going to direct the Department of Public Works to do some enforcement. So some people have called, why do I have to use them? And the answer is because we're switching systems. We're going to the automated arm, and the trucks that we're purchasing that will be here in October are designed to pick up this can, and that's, if you lived in a township like town of Waukegan, they have several carting companies that pick up their private carting companies. You get the can that they give to you, that they issue to you. So we're not trying to be, hammer something down your head. This is better for our workers. When this project began, 50% of our workman's comp claims came out of sanitation. It's hard work. It's a lot of heavy lifting. Imagine being in the wintertime with garbage cans full of ice and snow and garbage and lifting them up and putting them onto the back of the truck or slipping off of the lifts. It's not, it's backbreaking work. So that was one of the reasons we looked at doing it. We knew we could finance it with the purchase of with a reduction over a period of time in workforce and the purchase of 3 new garbage trucks with the automated arms. So that's what we did. But let me go back that term. So the idea is to sign up for Nixle, check your social media, call your alderman. Senior citizens, if you don't have access to social media, please sign up with the seniors or call the senior program. They will assist you. It's a very simple system. And your nights of placing out garbage is not changed. Nothing's changed other than the can. And we need your cooperation. And we're going to bring this in over a period of weeks. But ultimately, the end game is that you need to participate in the program if you're going to have municipal city pickup. Next is the O&W Rescue Plan. As you know, we do have somebody interested in it, and we're still talking to them, but it's a big task. The $12 million American Rescue Plan has opened up a few doors for us and opportunities for the city in regards to making capital investments that we normally would not make, or investing in others that we need to make, like water and sewer infrastructure. So we are presenting different types of plans to you. One of them, as I mentioned at the previous meeting, will be the O&W project. And the reason why we're focusing on O&W right now is that, as you know, the estimate of tearing the building down, which would be sinful, is the fact that it'll cost us about $1.5 million to tear the building down. And that might be a conservative estimate in talking to the engineer, depending upon the asbestos in the building. So we thought about taking that $1.5 million rather than tearing it down, is applying it with some of the federal rescue plan monies, say up to $2 million, and also under the earmark projects, which Congressman Maloney's office has accepted applications for. And last week we did submit an application for the EDI grant. It's an economic development initiative. Jacob also submitted for another project, I think water and sewer, and I think both are very competitive. And we've requested $2 million. We would propose that we would operate the facility once renovated as a business incubator, similar to how we're operating the former Woolworths building, with tenants doing build out. And it's a targeted area, a low-income targeted area, but it is also at the same time a gateway to our downtown. So this is an exciting opportunity for us. We're hoping that the EDI grant applications will be processed quickly. My understanding is their office is looking at them. The congressman's district is pretty large, and so they have a lot of applications. But we believe this is very competitive, and this may be the last straw for the O&W. We're pushing it. But when you go to the building, you understand why you don't want to tear the building down, even in its current condition. We received letters of support from the county executive, from Senator Martucci, Assemblywoman Gunther, and also the O&W Society on this project. We have retained an engineer who has worked on the project in the past for the Middletown Community Health Center, Fusco Engineering, to do a preliminary review, to find out how much asbestos is in there and give us a basic game plan to see if what we're looking at to get the roof fixed, to put the windows, the floors, and stabilize this building and possibly tear down the rear where the fire damage was, whether it's feasible. So, but even if we know it's going to be an expensive project and would, under normal market conditions, would probably not be done. But with the accessibility of these monies to save this historic structure, which is on the National New York State Historic Registry, we think it's worth another shot. So we'll be presenting that plan in detail. And Maria's office has been pretty active in this project also. Jacob is putting together the street paving plan. One comment on social media was, why are they buying garbage cans when they need to blacktop the streets? Well, we're doing both. So we're going to be spending probably well over $1 million on streets this year. We have, I know some of you aldermen have sent in streets of concerns to the commissioner directly, and we'll be making a tour of the city to see what streets are in the greatest need, and based on our replacement plans that we usually try to do every so often, every 10 years or 12 years, do the paving. So if you have any new ideas, please forward them to the commissioner. Woolslayer Field update. I thought I'd put this out there before the council president asked for it. As you know, we've had problems with the project, and we had COVID problems with the project, and now we had drainage problems with the project. And it looks like the commissioner has worked out with our local architect that we've retained, Joe Fucci, and the contractor Turco. They've worked out an alternative to the original drainage plan. And I believe they're going to mobilize again within 2 weeks. Right, Council President?
2 weeks?
Within 2 weeks. This week. Jacob's whispering in the back. Within 2 weeks. And the project will once again be underway. So, it's bad timing, but we can't control what's underneath the ground there. As for COVID, we do have, I think, the number 2 in the county on total cases. And people ask, why do you have the local mask mandate in place? And that's why, because we're number 2 in the county. And but on active cases, we're also number 2, but at a much reduced number. If you remember, those numbers were up in the mid to high 200s on active cases. And now we're down, I believe it's one, I can't see it here, but it might be on another slide, but I think it was 120 or 130. So, but the mask mandate is still in place. COVID is not over. We need to do the the right thing and continue to practice our social distancing and mask wearing. The last item is not on a slide, but we talked about throughout the year what type of hit we thought we were going to take with our loss of revenue due to COVID. And Don has given me the preliminary numbers this morning, and it looks like when you combine all funds, and some of these will be offset by expenses that were not incurred because we weren't running programs, like some of the rec programs. But the general fund took a $3.6 million hit. The water fund, about $600,000, and the sewer fund, about $500,000. Now, we had all along talked about a $5 million hit. Almost $2 million of that $5 million is sales tax revenue, loss of sales tax revenue. We did offset some of them with some other increases. For example, some workman's comp reimbursements, our lower rates on workman's comp because of a reduction in some areas. So, but those are basically the important lines that we will be submitting for reimbursement for under the rescue plan. And then the rest of the money we can then appropriate to different projects over the 2-year period. The money cannot be reimbursed, just put into our general fund. The money can be for eligible reductions in revenue, it's eligible for, and for the certain types of capital projects. The money has to be spent by 2024. I don't know if it's the end of the 2024 or the middle of 2024. We expect the cash to be coming in, wired into our city accounts sometime in early to mid-May. So as we present to you the plan, your thoughts, I think I gave you a list of 9 or 10 items that we thought about in the administration, but we're are open to some of your ideas also. And that's all I have for this evening, and I would certainly take questions from
Any questions for the mayor?
board.
Alderman Johnson.
Just had one, when you spoke about the gentleman that said he would pay for parking, I think that was in the context of, he said, what if I'm out of town for a week and I can't move my car? So you are talking about residents of downtown. Could you address that issue if I'm
Sure.
not home to move my car?
We do have some lots, and that was one of the things we told him we would look at, but he did say he would pay $20 a month instead of $10 a month. But we have some lots that are going to be 72-hour lots, meaning Canal Street, for example, that if a downtown tenant is going to go away for the weekend, we thought about weekends. If they're going to go away for the weekend, they want to leave their car, they can go park it there for 3 days and not be faced with, any type of enforcement. This gentleman talked about, hey, what if I want to go away for a week? And it made sense. And it might have been him that sent in the comment also, because we did have it in our notes to consider, for you folks to consider, that it might make sense for us to allow for a temporary permit for people that are going to go away for the long-term lots. So I don't think it's very easily manageable. It can be done by, John's going to get some work out of this with some software package that we need to do, but it looks like it'll be very doable. And I don't know how much of a demand there's going to be. Our big concern is that people from outside will leave their cars in the lots and take up spaces. I gave you the example at the last meeting of the paving and the student that didn't come back to the car for 3 days in a prime location and was surprised when the car got towed. And that's what we're trying to explain to people last night, is that can't happen. That, someone parks their car in the James Street lot for 3 days, consecutive days, it kills business. And each individual, and I was told by Dr. Johnson I was a little rude last night. Didn't you tell me that?
It might have been mentioned in
It
passing.
might have been mentioned. That when I responded to some, because we were getting individual stories, and I mentioned that, every business and every person has their own individual story, but we can't legislate to any individual story. We have to legislate and create a system that's good for everyone. And that's why what I think we're proposing addresses short-term, addresses people who are willing to pay, people who don't want to pay. The gentleman had a good idea about, doing a temporary permit for 7 days. And if there's more ideas out there, we're willing to listen to them. But for the most part, I think it's a pretty workable plan, and we've patterned it after multiple other communities that are doing these types of things. I gave the example of Mamaroneck. For example, our 6-month pass is going to be $75, and that's prime parking, overnight parking. A 6-month pass in Mamaroneck, which is in Westchester, a little more costly, is $225, and that's not prime parking. That's perimeter parking. So we think we're being fair, and we had to distinguish between paid parking and free parking, but there were some other good points raised at the meeting.
Alderman Tobin?
It's more of a comment. I'm glad to see that there'll be some signs and explaining all these, like, for example, I thought Star Collision owned that parking lot there. I didn't know that was a public lot, so if new signs and describing
Yeah.
would make us aware that, oh, I could.
You're talking about by Salvation Army?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was originally part of the DRI.
Uh-huh.
And that lot came in, I think, was like 1.3 or 1.4 million because the trail's going through there and the retaining wall. But that is all available for city parking. It's not Star Collision parking. Star Collision actually has additional parking. They lease parking to Access, I believe, for their employee parking. So if they need to shift some of their operation back over there, they'd have to work that out with their tenant over there. But we can't have a business lease property, and I don't know if it's still going on or not, but I'm just giving a hypothetical, where if you have parking and you lease it to another business, and then you use city property, have an expectation to use city property, it can't work that way. So but when we get to that lot, it's costly. We had to pull it out because it was the DRI went way over budget. And we don't want we're not encouraging people to park too far back there on the grass and on the dirt. Up front is a little bit of blacktop there, but it's not lit, and we're not encouraging overnight parking there.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
Remarks of department heads, economic development.
Good evening, everyone. Just my 2 cents on the parking meeting from last night. We're still going to be doing outreach, and anybody from the district can reach out to us if they still have comments or want information. Like, for instance, some folks weren't able to make it last night, so I'm meeting up with them, either at their location or they're coming to my office to go over the presentation last night. And also, I just want to thank Chief Fuanchu regarding Officer Gallagher. He's been out there also going to the businesses and doing outreach and handing out the maps and the meeting notices. So we did do a real broad outreach, social media, mailers to all the landlords downtown, the building owners and the merchants and so forth. So again, you can contact my office, 346-4170, or the bid office. We're working together with the bid as well, 343-8075, and we'll be happy to go over last night's presentation with you. That's it.
Any question for Maria? Thank you, Maria. DPW Commissioner.
Good afternoon, all. The mayor touched on many of the projects that we have done, that he's been working on or going on with the city. I just want to update you about what the mayor touched on in terms of applying for grants through Bridge New York and through the Congressman Maloney's earmarks. The mayor, he spoke about ONW project. We also, with his support and letters from the mayor, we applied for phase 2 of the water line extension, which is replacing the 20-inch water main, high-pressure water main from wherever we stop right now, which is by the Manhagan Avenue, continue all the way up to Highland Avenue, going through Wickham Avenue. So that's a major water main replacement. We also applied for the 12-inch water main replacement that goes through Lake Avenue. That's an 1887 water main. That's how old it is. And we have under phase 1, which is the construction is taking place right now, it goes through Davish Park expansion. We replaced up to Davish Park at the end of Davish Park expansion. The phase 2 of that 12-inch water main will take us all the way through Lake Avenue. It will tie into the proposed 20-inch high pressure also on Wickham Avenue all the way up to Highland Avenue. So that project is about $10 million. We applied for that. We also applied for sewer line replacement, which is, you may recall, we've done about $6.5 million worth of sewer work on Sterling Street. We still have an issue where the new sewer ended, where it goes under the railroad track by Republic Plaza, by Orange and Rockland entrance. So that's $1 million project also we applied for. We applied for the replacement of the 24-inch water main, low-pressure water main from the water treatment plant down to the intersection of West Main and Manhagan. That one line supplies 2/3 of the water supply system or the water demand for the city. So the other lines, they supply only 1/3. This one line only by itself supplies 2/3 of the city. It's extremely important and crucial line for us. So we applied for a grant to replace it as well. The mayor, with his support, we applied also for daylighting the, you may recall, daylighting the Manhagan and Draper Brook between Academy Avenue, Sterling Street, and Genung Street. We're going to be revisiting that. We tried to do it under New York Rising, $3.5 million. Some local property owners were not interested in approving the easement. Condition of the grant was to make sure that everybody is on board, including the private owners. So we made a new project out of it. We applied for this grant, and hopefully it will come through. It will basically create low area that is park, but however, it will daylight the brook. It's going to be a nice, beautiful park. It will connect to the Heritage Trail. That will be just one block over. That's under construction right now. And it will be subject to flooding without causing any damage. So if there's any peak flow type storms in there, that area will be allowed to flood, and hence it will take some of the flood, it will contain some of the water. Instead of going downstream, it will hold it back a little bit. So it's extremely beneficial project for us, for the quality of life in the area and for flooding mitigation as well. We also applied for a grant for replacing the Genung Street Bridge, which is at the intersection of Sprague and Genung Street. There's a big bridge in there, and it's been flagged by DOT a few times. We've been addressing it and repairing it and so on and so forth, but it is ultimately an old bridge, so we applied for its replacement. We also applied for another culvert replacement by West Main and Manhagan, where the brook goes in there. So we applied for that. So we applied basically about maybe $30 to $40 million worth of work as well, on top of the O&W, what the mayor has applied for. So hopefully something will come in. If nothing comes in here, at least we will be we want to be ready for the new infrastructure package. Hopefully President Biden is working on. And we want to be ready to submit all these applications once they have the money available for us. We have much larger projects as well. We're working with CDM Smith for developing the Indigo as a source of water for us, an additional source of water for us, and also GIS development, which is what CDM is doing right now, but it will carry it to the nth degree, which completing the GIS project. So we're preparing those grants in there in packages. So whenever the federal government say, okay, give us those, what do you guys have? We'll tell them, here's what we have. They're extremely important projects. Also, the mayor, he touched on the paving in there. So there's going to be a lot of paving this year. Last year we did not pave. This year we got more money from the CHIP money. And the mayor and you guys and the council, they are contemplating adding a little bit more money from the $12 million possibly for paving, so additional paving. So hopefully you'll see a tremendous amount of paving taking place. The mayor and I were going to take a ride and go over all these, do individual evaluation for each and every street that is going to be on our list. Flushing of the water system was concluded, so now you can rest assured that the system is clean and you can do laundry without looking at your water, checking it. So we continue to be very proud of the water quality that we produce to our residents. ADA curbs and sidewalks, the work resumed on Dawson Avenue, and tomorrow they're going to be placing granite curbs by Dollar General, and so the work is continuing. And that's going to be a very nice project, putting curbs and sidewalks where they never existed. I took pictures today of some ladies walking with shopping carts right on the street on Dawson Avenue, which is really high speed, almost high speed, highway almost. And you know, they're trying to manage. So it's going to encourage walkability in there. It's going to encourage shopping in that area and people. You know, enjoying that area when you have the curbs and safe curbs and sidewalks that are ADA accessible. I'm going to preempt the council president because usually he starts attacking about the grass, the high grass. So I want to warn our residents, please work with us. Maintain your grass in there. Anytime it gets higher than 6 inches, we're going to be out in there in force, writing the letters in there. And after 5 days, we have the right to go and cut your grass if it continues to grow higher, and the penalties are going to be high. I mean, the first time we cut a grass, I wrote it here someplace. First time it's $100 for single family. The second time it's $250. Third times is $500. Two family and multiple dwelling. The first time we cut it is $250. If we cut it again, after we send you the second warning letter after 3 days, it's $500. After that, it's $750 from there on, the third time on. Commercial property, $500 the first time, $750 the second time, third time, $1,000. Also, DPW code enforcement can take you to court, fortunately, and the fine is going to be between $100 up to $500, minimum $500, up to $500 if the court find you guilty per day of violation. So, I mean, this is serious. Every year, the council president gets upset and all that stuff. So, we're trying our best to catch all these, cut the grass on our own property, on city property, and then we're gonna chase the violators. Nothing has been issued there yet, no violation. So please be very careful and look out for your grass. Just maintain it and cut it, and nobody will have to pay any money for anybody. So help us out, please. Reservoir level, Alderman Massey, he's not here, but we are 100% capacity. We're in very good shape. Spring cleanup, we are doing we finished the third ward, and now we are doing the second ward, and then we'll do the first on April 26th. And then we will do the fourth ward on May 5th. The mayor spoke tremendously about the garbage cans. So like he suggests, like the mayor stated, once the garbage can distribution is finished, then we're going to stick to whatever garbage cans. You can't put additional cans. You can't put anything on the street next to it. You can't pile it like a pyramid in there. You got to stick with what we've given you. So once we finish the distribution. And I do not have an exact number for you guys. If you want to ask me how much of the city have we done, I think more than half of the city has been done already with garbage cans. And the Average Park expansion, the mayor spoke about it, and I think that's all I have for you, except if you have any questions for me.
Any question for Jacob? Jacob, code enforcement.
Yeah.
We said we were going to spoke about code enforcement and code enforcement issues. Are they out there now doing full inspections on every property that they need to?
Yes, sir. As you and I, we keep discussing this because I know this is also, dear to your heart. And we have resumed inspection, interior inspection for rental permitting April 1st. We started that already. As you know, we lost one code enforcement officer. He was out on an extended leave, so he's no longer with us. So we're looking to fill that position. Other people are, so-and-so with COVID, so we're very, very, very careful. There is some certain inspectors in there. We're going to keep them out from doing interior inspection because of still concerned about COVID and health issues and all that stuff. So single family is going to be done by a couple of inspectors in there. We're trying to juggle the duties between the inspectors. Quality of life is going to be extremely important for us. We have one of our toughest inspectors is going to be assigned to it, and he's been doing it. Whenever he's available to work for us right now, because he's got some minor things in there to address. But we're trying our best to catch up with everything, and we're going to be going with code enforcement is going to be chasing, like the mayor suggested, with the garbage cans in there. At some point when we pull the trigger, once garbage cans are distributed all over the place, code enforcement officer, like say Monday morning, code enforcement officer is going to drive the 4th ward to see what garbage is remaining, because we're going to pick up only city provided garbage cans. Whatever is adjacent to it is going to be left. So the code enforcement officer is going to go there, take pictures, document it, put reminder at the very beginning, then we start taking people to court because we have to. Otherwise the whole program will fall apart. So that's, we have tremendous responsibilities. We're going to be filling that vacant position hopefully very soon, because we have to have people stepping up in there as people retire and people move on and so on and so forth. So,
Okay. Anyone else?
one more thing before you tonight is I just want to address that very quickly, because the mayor didn't have a full agenda to address, which is basically repurposing city court. Before you tonight, there's a proposal from Barton and LaJudas for repurposing city court for the police department and some city hall activities. The chief, he'll tell you more about their detective division in there. They need to be moving, and the project for moving city court from where it is right now to the federal courthouse, or the former federal courthouse, is making major progress, like the mayor reported to you before. We are in agreement with the court administration and with the court architects about what we're doing. BNL are moving ahead with the design, and we are at 30% completed plans now, so it's time to start thinking about this. So before you tonight is only the reprogramming of city court for PD and for city hall purposes.
Okay. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
Police chief.
Good evening. Just a few things. This evening I have before you a resolution in regards to purchasing fixed license plate readers. Greatly appreciate the support in that. It would be an amazing investigative tool for us. It is some new technology that's been available at a very reasonable cost. Several years ago, I looked into doing a similar project with a lot less cameras, and it was about 5 times the cost of what this project is. So technology has actually come a long way, and it would really give us a huge advantage with actual criminal investigations. With the nice weather upon us now, quality of life issues have stepped up quite a bit. So I'd just like to remind the community and all of you to please encourage people to call us at the time that they're observing any of the quality of life issues. It's much easier for us to address them at the time of occurrence rather than catching up with them a day or so later. Just to follow up, my 2 cents on the parking situation is, in addition to all of the new rules, the element of enforcement. The city did hire a part-time parking enforcement officer, and we are in discussion of hiring an additional one. But without that enforcement, all those rules, all the hard work that's gone into the parking project is really null and void. So to ensure that we do follow the rules, the enforcement will be taking place. We were not looking to summon someone that's been parked for 4 hours and 1 minute. We do have some leeway, and we will work to the best of our abilities with that. Just to expand on something that Jacob had just mentioned about the court expansion. That's a great asset to the police department moving into the court when the city court moves to the federal court building. Our detectives have been housed in our basement for many, many years, and it's an old post office. So the basement isn't that wonderful, so that would be a huge addition to the police department. So we appreciate the support with that as well. Other than that, I have nothing unless you have questions for me.
Any questions for the chief? Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Superintendent of Recreation.
Good evening. Just really quick, a quick feel-good thing. I was going around to programs tonight. Programs. They're up and running. To see the boxing coach out with 5 kids running. To see a fitness program with 2 different age groups in our field at the new recreation campus running. Everybody's socially distant, everybody's safe. To go and see every ball field we have having a Little League practice that has less numbers on each team socially distant playing. To go by the soccer fields and see soccer going on. We're getting there. My big thing is kudos to the volunteers that are making this happen. The Little League parade went off successfully, the march, the parents listened, the volunteers worked hard, and adults, let's keep this good work up so we can keep some normalcy out there and some healthy habits for our kids going on. And I believe youth football has also started registration, so everything is coming around. And if there's questions, please call the recreation department. We can refer you to the right volunteer groups. Little League, football, soccer, they're all volunteer groups running these leagues. Resolutions tonight, you'll see there's 2 donations. One's from Middletown Little League. They always go halves with us on infield mix or diamond dry, and that's what that donation is for. There's also a donation from players. Their owner knows we stock our ponds every 2 years. It's an additional $500, which is hundreds of fish that we put in Maple and Davidge. The other resolution, and if there's any questions, I can take it from you. We are looking to increase our preschool fees. That's just so this program could be self-sustaining. It hasn't been changed in 6 years. It was also 3 days a week then. It is 5 days a week, 2.5 hours a day. The price would break down to $55 a week. So it's a $220 a month. That comes to $4.40 an hour. Actually less because you have that half hour in there. So if there's any questions, I can address that. It's still $100 cheaper than the cheapest preschool program with the same amount of hours in the area. So no, we don't like raising fees, but it comes to a point where it has to be self-sustaining. We don't want taxpayers paying for other families' kids to be in a program. So that's all I have this evening, unless you have any questions.
And Alderman Kleiner?
Thank you, Chris. I had someone ask me about fishing up at Davidge. Are there any restrictions? Are there any limits? What are the rules as far as people just going to Davidge fishing?
It is a catch and release up there, but the laws are following the DEC rules, having a license. We do catch and release, but anybody keeping a fish, it has to be certain inches for certain species. So if they look at the DEC guidelines, but fishing is allowed in both of our waterways.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Chris. John, City Clerk?
The summer weather's almost here, and we started to hand out garage and yard sales. So we just make sure that everybody that has a garage sale has to have a permit for the city, and also making sure that there's no signs on any telephone poles or city property. Second, I've been mailing out reminders to everyone downtown, businesses who had a sidewalk cafe outside to renew their cafe license, according to COVID rules, of course. And to mention that we are also up again on the music for the outdoor cafes. If I'll be putting that on next meeting, which would be May 4th, to renew that for another year, because it's a sunset clause in that. It has to be renewed every year. So that's all I have for this evening.
Any questions for John? All right, thank you, John. Public hearings and grievances.
Okay, tonight we have 2 public hearings for a proposed 7-lot subdivision for Country Club Estates. I'll read the notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the City of Middletown will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 20th, on or as near 8 p.m. as possible, Common Council Chamber, 2nd floor, 16 James Street, to hear any and all persons wishing to be heard on the proposed 7-lot subdivision at 32 Davidge Road and 67 Highland View Place. Any and all persons wishing to be heard will be given the opportunity to speak either for or against the 7-lot subdivision. The complete proposed application of the property and the plans for the 7-lot subdivision was available in the office of the Common Council Clerk, City Hall, 16 James Street, room 12, and also on the city website. The public hearing shall be conducted in person and via video teleconference and live on Channel 20 for viewing. We had the link that anybody who wanted to do it digitally could also join us. For any person unable to participate at the time of the public hearing, email comments may be submitted in advance to jnomchek@middletown-ny.com. This was published in the Times Herald Record on April 12th and April 13th. and also on the city website. Just for the record, you have the mailings?
Yes, we
Okay.
just submitted them.
Okay, we have submitted the mailings. Also, for this project, for the record, this is also part of the GML 239 process. It had to be, it's 500 feet from a geographic line from another municipality. So it had to go to the Orange County Department of Planning. And I did receive comments from them saying the department has received the above referenced 7-lot residential subdivision and had found no evidence that significant intermunicipal or countywide impact would result from its approval.
This time, the public hearing is now open.
Good evening, John O'Rourke with Lankin Tully Engineering. If it's up to the council, I have this pointed towards the public, and I'll just give a brief overview. This is the 4.7 acres in the R1 zoning district with a minimum lot size required of 7,500 square feet. There's 2 existing lots there now. We're proposing those 2 to be broken into a total of 7 for a total of 5 new lots. They range in size from 15,000 square feet, the smallest, up to 37,000 square feet, one of the largest. We meet all the bulk requirements. We're also, as part of this project, extending the road, which I think is a great enhancement to the area because it's pretty limited for traffic access. And we're also extending water, looping that road in the water, and also extending the sewer. And again, residential, 7 single-family homes.
Okay, at this time, I'll ask anybody from the public have any comments. Eileen, anybody online?
Not at this time that wishes to speak.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing. Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Green. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's closed.
Okay. Yes, we would, and again, I don't know how what you stand to do it here, but we're looking for a neg deck and a preliminary approval because we have to go to the health department and the DEC.
It's our next meeting, the
Next
May
meeting?
4th meeting.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
No problem. Okay, public hearings and grievances.
Okay, we have another public hearing for proposed 2-lot subdivision for 15 Houston Avenue and 2 to 6 LaGrange. I'll read the notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the City of Middletown will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 20th, on or as near 8 p.m. as possible, Common Council Chamber, 2nd floor, 16 James Street, to hear any and all persons wishing to be heard on the proposed 2-lot subdivision at 15 Houston Avenue Extension and 2 to 6 LaGrange Street. And in all persons wishing to be heard will be given an opportunity to speak either for or against the proposed 2-lot subdivision. The complete proposed application and map of the property for the 2-lot subdivision was available in the office of the Common Council Clerk, 16 James Street, room 12, and also on the city website. The public hearing shall be conducted in person and via video teleconference and live on Channel 20 for viewing, and the link below was available for the virtual public hearing. For any person unable to participate, they can also email comments to me at my email at City Hall. And this was published in the Times Herald Record on April 12th and April 13th, and also on the city website. And just for the record, I did receive the proof of mailings.
Okay, at this time, the public hearing is open.
I have John Nosek.
Good evening, board members. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. John Nosek, Fusco Engineering, here representing MBJ Realty. This is a proposed lot line change for 2 existing parcels in the city of Middletown on Houston Avenue. And essentially what we're looking to do is take a 0.03 acre piece, triangular piece, and convey it from lot 14, that would be 43,714, and convey it over to 43,713. For basically the purposes of making lot 13 more of a buildable lot. It's a very narrow lot, as you can see from the map. And that's pretty much all we're looking to do.
Thank you. Anyone from the public have any questions? Anyone from online?
Not at this time.
Any council member? Motion to close. Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Green. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We'll be set for next meeting, the May 4th. Okay, no petition or complaints. Remarks of Alderman. Alderman Tobin.
Not much, just I'm enjoying the nice weather. Earth Day's right around the corner. I've had the opportunity to go out and check out the rail trail on the Palmer Ave in the 4th Ward. It's really nice. I got my kids some rollerblades. They're really enjoying it. So if you haven't gotten out there, the rail trail looks great. Unfortunately, it's blocked by construction on under 84. But hopefully that will be up soon and will be connected to the rest of the county. Thank you.
Awesome. Alderman Green.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who came out to our constituents meeting, even though it was raining and a little cold. We still had some people out there and got a lot accomplished. So thank you to everyone who came out to that. And just, I won't talk about the result, but the Bell game, to see Middletown all up blue and everyone showing their support was really a great thing. So I hope we can keep it up, just keep morale up all over. It was a great thing to see. Thank you.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. With respect to what the mayor talked about last night at downtown, I hope people are paying attention. It's a remarkable transformation that we're going to have between lighting and garbage cans on light poles and signage and curb cuts and ADA accessible, and it'll be an exciting transition for us. I hope the garbage can project goes through as painlessly as possible. And with respect to the conviction we heard today, I share the mayor's pause to reflect, and hopefully it will set an interesting stage for the future of this country. Thank you.
Alderman Rackersoon.
Good evening. Just a little bit of business quickly. The third ward meetings are going to recommence next week. We have the weather to be outside again, hopefully, on Tuesday. Either way, we're going to aim for a pavilion at Maple Hill Park. I'll define exactly which one later this week. That will be at 6:30, a week from tonight, so that's Tuesday night next week. As for our downtown, it brought to mind when you said that, Alderman Johnson, I went to the Bee Tavern this weekend. The food is outstanding. I was at the Chocolatier and the Rail Trail Commons a couple weeks ago with the kids. Amazing and super affordable for absolutely outstanding chocolate. The restaurants, everything that's going on, it's all on the up. It's positive things, and now we have the warm weather to really kind of wander around and enjoy it. So I recommend everybody takes a chance to do that. That's all I have tonight.
Alderman Kleiner.
Thank you. I want to thank Sue Depew and second what she said about Earth Day coming up on Thursday, because we can't do the big Pride event where we get 500-600 people going out and cleaning up Middletown. So we're depending on people to go out and clean up your own block, clean up your own house, but do whatever you can, and don't stop at Earth Day. But it's a good time to go out. I think the rain will have stopped by then, we hope. So let's keep our city looking good. We're doing so much in the city, improving it, that it's a shame to have litter just dumped. And we still are getting masks and things like that discarded, and so let's clean it up. The parking plan, it's an amazing lot of work has gone into it, and I thank the mayor and Maria and police department and Officer Gallagher and everyone who's been involved, and John Degnan in the bid. And of course, we've been looking at this forever with downtown parking and the best way to solve it and to make it available for people. So I thank everyone who's been working on the plan, and if it's not perfect, we'll change it, but it looks pretty good to me. And lastly, I want to mention the passing yesterday of Elaine Brandon. I don't know how many people knew Elaine. She's one of the longtime residents of Randall Heights, one of the original, and she was a volunteer supreme. And I'm sure if you voted for the last however many years in Middletown, you ran into Elaine because she was always there helping you vote. But she was there with so many other organizations. So my condolences to her family. Thank you.
Alderman John Francois.
Thank you. Good evening. First, I'd like to thank the commissioner for resuming the sidewalk project on Dawson Avenue. Much needed. Thank you very much. There's so many projects going on in the city. I gave myself a 30 minutes heads up starting in the morning just to get around the city. It's an exciting time. As I mentioned in my last meeting, we started our the year cleaning, city cleaning this year, but as you drive around, you could see a lot of garbage that had been picked up by the street department. Our fourth ward starts on May 3rd. Our fourth ward is one of the biggest wards in the city. You can imagine how much stuff we're gonna have out there. As I mentioned before, I'm not asking anyone to make a citizen arrest, but what I need you to do for us is if you see illegal dumping, let us know. Call the police department, get a plate number, because it's costing the city a lot of money every year. That's one thing we don't need. Thank you.
Okay, new business.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin to accept a donation of $525 from the Middletown Little League to the City of Middletown's Recreation and Parks Department.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, second by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois? Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green to approve the 2020 Service Award Program list for the City of Middletown Fire Department and authorize the city clerk to sign the approval form.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green, second by Alderman Tobin. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to approve an increase in the monthly fee of the 3-year-old and 4-year-old preschool program for the Middletown Recreation Department.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Rankine. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Ramkasoon to amend the city code to add the new updated zoning map dated February 2021.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Rankine, second by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner to authorize the treasurer to transfer a total of $12,500 within the police 2021 budget to cover the cost of the new fixed LPR system.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, second by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois to accept a donation in the amount of $500 from Players Bar for the Recreation and Parks Department.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, second by Alderman Tobin. Discussion. Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin to authorize the treasurer to transfer $2,500 within the DPW 2021 budget to cover unexpected cost to rent a sewer pump for the wastewater treatment plant.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, seconded by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
I'm sorry. Johnson?
Still aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Visions Human Resource Services, LLC, to be retained to conduct a job search to replace the city deputy treasurer.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Barton and Lucchese for engineering services related to reprogramming existing city court space for other municipal use.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkasoon?
Aye.
Tobin?
Aye.
Kleiner?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
John Francois?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
President Rodriguez? Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Ram Kasoon to authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents and to authorize the submission of the Community Project Funding Process Economic Development Initiative, EDI.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Consoom, second by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
President Rodriguez. Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner to declare items from the Middletown Fire Department surplus which have no value to the city and donate these items to the Huguenot New York Fire Department.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. That is all for new business.
Audit.
Mr. President, I move the accounts be audited, the claims be adjusted, and the city treasurer be authorized to issue warrants for their payment.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Green. Roll.
Graham Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
President Rodriguez. Resolution passes.
For adjournment.
So moved.
Aye.